Greetings of peace and love, everybody. This video is pertaining to the Kundalini. Many people have heard of the Kundalini for the most part. Most people know what it is, but a lot of people don't know what it is, actually. I do get a lot of questions pertaining to Kundalini. Now, Kundalini isn't such a hot topic as it used to be back in the days in the meditation circles. Like the Merkaba is really hot right now, stuff like that. The third eye. But Kundalini plays a part in activating the third eye, and that's why I need to cover it. Kundalini plays a part in you experiencing heaven on earth. When you talk about Christ coming back and the second coming of Christ, you talk about Christ consciousness. You were talking about the rising of the Kundalini. The ancients compared the Kundalini to the snake. In the Bible, when it talks about the snake coming to Eve and tempting her, some people say this is the reptilians. Some people says that it was a literal snake talking. But then the deep metaphysical researchers teach that this snake was actually the Kundalini located within Eve, speaking to her. Now, what do I believe? I believe that the story has multiple meanings. I believe that the story is talking about reptilians in one aspect, and I believe that the story of the snake in the garden is talking about the garden of the mind and the Kundalini rising. By Eve eating from a certain tree, she was able to gain knowledge, the tree of knowledge. You had the tree of life, you had the tree of knowledge. And this is what the Kundalini promises. Life and knowledge. Life and knowledge. The Kundalini is compared to snake energy because, according to the yogis, it sits coiled at the base of the spinal column. It sits coiled like this. And when the Kundalini begins to rise, it, like a snake, it opens up. It opens up. And it begins to rise and stand up like a snake. But it's coiled. It's closed at first and it's coiled at the base of the spine, like a closed fist. And it begins to rise. Kundalini actually means the coiling. That's one meaning for it, because it's coiled like a snake. And it opens up and it begins to rise. And this is why the Egyptians, you saw snakes coming out of their head. The snakes. And that's going into the Nagas. The Naga serpents. See, the Nagas were a group of priests that, I'm not going to talk about that here. Sorry. I'm not going to talk about that here. That's going to be a separate video. But the snake coming out of the forehead represented the third eye, or actually what it represented was the activating of the third eye through the raising and the rising of the Kundalini and the ascending of the Kundalini. The Kundalini has to ascend in order for your third eye to be activated. And this is what we mean by ascending. You have to take that sexual energy, which is the Kundalini, believe it or not, and channel it and bring it up your spinal column and activate your third eye. And the snake will come out of your forehead, which is wisdom. And you will unlock, a halo will come out of your crown chakra. And beings that have an open third eye will see you and recognize you. And you will be a part of a different order. A mystical order that has nothing to do with mundane orders. This order has something to do with those beings that can see into the spiritual world and that can see you based upon your Kundalini. And those beings that have the same color as you or the same aura as you, and they can see your Kundalini and they resonate with it, they'll help you. I just recently got help today from a brother. Just because my Kundalini and my third eye was activated, he walked up to me and told me he's seen it. And this brother is really fitting to help us at 13 Signs of Astrology expand. This is an old sage brother. Let's get ready to really help us to expand. And this brother is helping me chiefly now. This is a personal testimony, chiefly because of the fact of my Kundalini and my third eye being activated and my Kundalini being ascended. So that's how powerful this thing is. When you start talking about getting initiated into realms on the astral realm, this will never happen if your Kundalini has not risen. Now, how does one know if their Kundalini has risen? It happens through meditation. It happened to, some say it happened to Krishna, I believe it was, by accident. Supposedly happened to Krishna by accident. His Kundalini, he rose his Kundalini and activated his third eye by accident. And this lasted for 82 years of his life, I believe. And he did this through meditation. He didn't even know what it was. But it was a tingling sensation that he felt at the base of his spine. And the deeper he meditated, the more this tingling sensation began to get more and more powerful. And eventually this tingling sensation began to rise up. He felt it rising up his spinal cord. And he felt it beam of energy come out of his crown chakra, out of his forehead, out of the top of his head, out up here and out. A beam of light came out. And this is the Kundalini. This is the Kundalini rising. The Kundalini is the same thing as the Holy Grail. It's the same thing as everlasting life. You see, it's the same thing as the Philosopher's Stone. This is the Kundalini. When you activate it, it gives you the same effects that the prophets had and what made them prophets. This is what made them prophets. The fact that their Kundalinis were activated. You cannot be a prophet unless you had an activated Kundalini. An activated third eye. I'm sorry, an ascended Kundalini and an activated third eye. Required. This is required. You cannot become a priest in the mystery schools unless you had a ascended Kundalini and an activated third eye. So they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. The only way to get the Kundalini to activate is by breathing. You have to raise it up. You have to awaken it. It's the sleeping serpent. You have to awaken it. You awaken it by breathing properly and working with your energy. So that's my brief one-on-one video on the Kundalini and to help people to understand exactly what it is. It's sexual energy in essence that when used can be channeled into psychic spiritual energy. The Kundalini can make one psychic. This is what psychics are doing. They have an activated Kundalini. It can make one semi-psychic. Now, some people are born with an activated Kundalini and they're really psychic, like Messiah seeds. Most Messiah seeds are born with activated or with an ascended Kundalini, and some of them with an activated third eye. And this is why a lot of them are very intuitive and clairvoyant. The Kundalini is responsible for making you that way. And once it's activated, it cuts out all middlemen. This is basically God. When they talk about God and enlightenment and Illuminati and all of that, that's talking about the Kundalini, the enlightenment. You become enlightened when the Kundalini is ascended because there's nothing that you can't know at this point. The Kundalini creates geniuses. The Kundalini creates masters. It's the ascending of the Kundalini. So I hope that helped. My brief one-on-one on the Kundalini. For more enlightening information, I ask that you visit my website at 13signsastrology.com. And also, I do have a really good meditation, again, on the Kundalini. For those people that are interested, you can definitely visit my website. I have a really good meditation that will help to raise the Kundalini. It's a guided meditation. It's located at the link on this video on my website. So for those people that are interested in that, it's pre-recorded. And it will definitely help you to begin to ascend your Kundalini and begin to raise your Kundalini and begin to activate your third eye. I thank you for watching this video. For more enlightening information, again, visit my website or shoot me an email at 13signsastrology@gmail.com. And until we meet again, I'll leave you in peace and prosperity.